An elderly man has died after being hit by a car at Evans Head this morning. Police say the accident happened right in front of a group of school children who were waiting for the bus.
A morning walk turned to tragedy in Evans Head this morning. A 76-year-old man hit by a car while trying to cross a quiet suburban street.
Ambulance arrived quickly on the scene along with police, and they conducted CPR, but unfortunately the elderly gentleman passed away on scene.
Terrible, shocking for a little place like this.
People don't seem to go too fast around here. I didn't even hear a scream of brakes or anything.
Police say the 46-year-old female driver had just travelled through Woodburn Street and into Wattle when she collided with the man. The whole incident witnessed by several people, including children waiting for the school bus. Police will now interview the driver and witnesses to piece together exactly what happened this morning, but officers don't believe speed was a factor. The female driver has undergone mandatory blood and urine tests. Police say the community is in shock.
All the residents do know each other, and it is just a terrible situation that the local community will work through.
Annalise Rosendahl, NBN News.
2 men and a woman have been arrested following an armed hold-up at a credit union in Urunga this morning. Police say 2 of the men threatened staff with a gun and a tyre jack before escaping with a large sum of cash.
Morning horror for the staff of the Banana Coast Credit Union at Urunga.
At around 10 a.m. this morning, police were alleged that 2 male offenders have entered a credit union in at Urunga. We were alleged that one of them was armed with a firearm and one with a tyre lever.
Witnesses say one of the offenders was wearing a motorbike helmet, the other a face mask.
Just seemed very normal this morning, and we went down to playgroup and my girlfriend seen someone run.
Moments later, police intercepted their white station wagon in Maxville after it was spotted fleeing the scene in Urunga. It is alleged a large amount of cash was recovered from the vehicle.
There was all this screaming, get out of the car, get out of the car. And then I saw this detective with his gun drawn and a fellow laying on the ground, and then I could hear some screaming on the other side of the car, and that was his mate, the lady detective, and she was doing the same thing. And yeah, it was pretty scary.
A hold-up alarm which sounded from the Commonwealth Bank in Maxville just prior to their arrest is also being investigated. Charges are yet to be laid. Camilla Campbell, NBN News.
Police are investigating an alleged cannabis drink spiking incident at Richmond River High School this morning. Officers were called to the school at around 11 o'clock after reports a student had put cannabis in another student's milk. The children's parents have been notified. It's not clear what action will be taken at this stage.
A violent weekend in Port Macquarie has left 4 men injured and prompted police to seek public help to find their attackers. The men were all assaulted in separate attacks in Short and Hay Streets in the CBD in the early hours of yesterday. 2 of the victims had their mobile phones stolen. Police are appealing for members of the public who may have witnessed the incidents to call Crime Stoppers.
And Tamworth has also experienced a rapid increase in crime over the past 48 hours. More than 20 break-ins have been reported. Among those, 4 businesses in the CBD. Last night, a Cypress Street house was targeted by thieves who made off with a car. This morning, it was found on fire in Northcote Close. 15 vehicles have been reported stolen since Friday.
Ratepayers in the Hastings and Macleay Valleys will have to dig deeper into their pockets this year, with both councils gaining approval for substantial rate increases. Port Macquarie Hastings rates will go up by just over 15%, while Kempsey Council will secure an extra 11.37%.
It was the hit-to-the-hip pocket ratepayers were expecting. Like many of the state's 152 councils, Port Macquarie Hastings and Kempsey Shire need extra money to tackle massive infrastructure backlogs, and now they're going to get it. The Independent Pricing and Regulatory Tribunal, or IPART as it's known, has today approved a rate increase of 15.33% for Port Macquarie Hastings Council, a figure which includes the state-pegged rise of 3.6%. Kempsey Council's total increase will be 11.37%. The extra revenue will be used to tackle the backlog of road maintenance projects across the Shire. Lynn Laleen, NBN News.
Meanwhile, Coffs Harbour and Nambucca councils have also been granted special rate rises. Coffs ratepayers will have to come up with an extra 5.6%, while Nambucca has been successful in its bid for a 10.4% increase.
It was raincoats all round at Port Macquarie's annual swap meet on the weekend, but that didn't stop dedicated collectors from flocking to the town's racecourse to see what more than 150 exhibitors had on offer. As always, car parts and tools were popular sale items, while model cars and memorabilia also attracted the eye of keen collectors. The swap meet, which has grown to become the biggest of its kind on the Mid-North Coast, is also a fundraiser for the North Coast Cancer Institute.
A Port Macquarie school is doing its bit to encourage the next generation of scientists. The Adventist School staged a science expo today for 125 preschoolers. The idea behind the event is to make the subject fun and interesting and to prove that you're never too young to develop a love of science. Throughout the day, students were given hands-on experiences such as a ride in a hovercraft powered by a leaf blower motor. Another group of children will get the chance to immerse themselves in science when the expo continues tomorrow.